Hello, this short video is meant to show you some of the changes that have been made to the Flukes GUI in integrating it with the new capability on XOGenie to modify slices. We also took the opportunity to reorganize it a little bit, hopefully for the better. So as you can see, I have Flukes already launched here in a Linux virtual machine. This happens to be a CentOS, but similar results should be observable in Windows and Mac environment. If we go through the menus at the top, over here you see mostly familiar options: create request, new create, open request, save request. You can now also save manifest, which used to be not available. Save modify request relates to the ability to modify slices. One of the biggest changes is here under select XOGenie controller. This menu will now be populated for you instead of you having to specify the controllers you want to talk to. If you still want to have additional controllers, you can specify them just as before, and they will be added down here. As you can see, I'm talking to a special local controller that is operating in emulation mode so that I can quickly show you the features without actually creating real resources, real virtual machines, or real links. Under XOGenie info, you have available resources, or you can just query the controller that's selected for the resources that it has. And because this emulation controller behaves similar to XOSM, you will see a large number of racks visible in it. Of course, and as I said, these are not real, these are emulated resources. You can also look at compute images that are defined in the registry that you can use, and also this list is merged with the ones that you define in the properties for Flukes itself. And you can see the Twitter feed for the test bed, and you can also report slice problem if you have a properly configured mail client. Under graph layout, nothing's changed. This is for when you're displaying a manifest. You can play around with how it's displayed. And under help, nothing's changed again, but just as a reminder, you can always look at the options that you have by selecting this option here, and the window will show merged options that you have specified in your Flukes properties and the default values. Another big change is here. You will see that there are only two tabs, Resource View and Slice View, as opposed to Resource View, Request View, and Manifest View as before. Under Resource View, you can simply click Quick Registry and learn essentially about all the racks that we have. It is not in there you can, for instance, see the individual actors, Orca actors. Under Slice View, this essentially merges the functions of request and manifest views that we had before. You can click to learn what slices you have on the selected controller. You can pick different elements of the slice that you want to draw. Under Configure Slice, you can, for instance, set the reservation details. If you want to change the duration of your slice from default 24 hours, you can set it here. You can also bind the entire slice to a given site from this menu if you wanted to. And we'll talk about slice operation in a minute. Right now I'm just going to draw a simple slice with a node group here and a storage here. Now we'll link these two. I will place these into different sites. So what I will do is I'll actually use this pick feature using a right click. I'll select these two. And under Edit Selected Nodes, I will say that I want medium virtual machines with this image placed at BBN site. I will also additionally edit this here to say that I want 10 nodes in this node group as a small cluster. Similarly, I can again select pick, although actually I don't need it here, but I could. Edit selected sites. I want to say this is going to be FIU. Select back to edit, and then say that I want medium CentOS. And then in here I want 100 gigabytes. I will use automatic IP assignment here. As you saw, I already selected the default, increased the default reservation time to 72 hours. And now I'm ready to submit. I have my slice name over here. And I will click Submit Changes. This is similar to the Submit Slice or Submit Request button before, but now you can submit not only the initial topology request, but also follow-on changes to the topology. So I'm going to click that. And wait for the controller to come back with an embedding and an assignment of resources. As you can see, it says no errors reported, and there's a list of resources assigned to the slice. Now here I now have a choice. I can either click on Query Manifest, which is very similar to the way it was done before, or I can click on the new option called Poll Manifest. And what it will do is it will retrieve the initial manifest and then show this progress window waiting until all reservations have either gone active or failed. And it will continue color coding them so that you can tell how the progress is happening. So you can see there's still 12 reservations we're waiting for, already active 5. And you can see the ones that have green boundaries, borders, are the ones that are active. And the ones that are gray, we're still waiting for. Depending on the complexity, it might redraw them in different ways like it's doing now, or keep the topology static. As you can see, we only have 2 left now. You can stop this process at any time, and you can come back to it if you want. And now we're just waiting for one link to complete. And even though this is emulation, it does have some amount of delay built in for each reservation. So you can see our cluster here, and then it's done now. So you can see our cluster has been created here with 10 nodes. There's another node here, and there's our storage node connected to a storage server. If I wanted to report a problem with a slice, I could go in here and say report slice problem. And if I have a properly configured mail client, it would actually pop up a window that's populated with a lot of the information you would need to supply to us in order to describe what the problem is. As you can see, the address, the 2 addresses filled in, the name of the slice is right here. You can see which controller you were using. Here you need to fill out what the problem actually is, and what is attached is actually a compressed version of the manifest that it may be useful to us. You can also attach the request file if you want. So this should simplify reporting problems. Out of this menu, I can also now extend the lifetime of the slice. I can delete the slice, create changes. If a slice is particularly large and viewing it in the graphical form is too complicated, I can also view it as a list. As you can see, because these virtual machines aren't real, there is no management access provided to them. And finally, if I want to submit another slice like this, I can always say go back to request. But of course, it's always good, it's a good idea to save the request before you submit it, just so you can always go back to the original. So this shows you kind of some of the new features. Hopefully this video will help you understand the changes and use the new version of Flukes more successfully. Thank you.